All right, let's talk about Socrates. Socrates on morality, ethics. We have to deal with that concept, ethics and morality. But let's make us honorable mention of Socrates' view of morality. Often, it's almost not discussed much, as if it's insignificant. And I completely disagree with this idea, because Socrates captures the essence of what it is to be a human being, and we are completely reliable on our ethical code. What does that really mean? Okay. Socrates, as you know, is regarded as the father of philosophy. He had a very sophisticated definition of knowledge. He is an epistemologist, also a view of reality, which Plato adapted both of them to make his version of those things. All right, the theory of form was Socrates, and the idea is that reality, the most real things in reality, are these abstract things, these forms, these ideas, and once you can see these things with your mind, you can understand in this world how to actually behave, the directions you pursue. You have a better understanding of what's happening right here because of what's going on in this world of forms. But Socrates' view of morality spins around this idea that humans require knowledge, that a person only does wrong. No one knowingly does wrong. That would be Socrates' world. No one knowingly does wrong. Okay, imagine that. No one knowingly does wrong. No one really believes that, do they? Do they really believe in that? It sounds weird only when you take it out of context. Most people believe in this view, or many people, I should say, maybe not most, maybe too strong. Many people believe in the theory of evolution. That a long, long time ago, there weren't people in the world. There were more animals running around, and eventually the animals evolved into human beings. And human, coming new to the world, had to learn things. All right, this is accepted, and at the same time it's accepted, those same people reject Socrates' view. That is irrational, inconsistent. Okay, but I can understand where it's coming from. By the time you sit as an adult to engage in a meaningful discussion on ethics, you already have a fundamental core morality coming from your parents, your high school friends, your first jobs. Okay, so you've been cultivated to have a certain kind of ethical conscience. And because of that, by the time you sit to do a serious conversation, engage in philosophical analysis, you already have that. You've got a knowledge from your experiences. Have you ever asked yourself, perhaps, just perhaps, maybe all that is wrong? Maybe what you were taught by your parents are wrong? What your friends suggested of the right way was wrong? If you could do that, then you'd be in the Socratic position. How did the first human beings figure out how to behave? What were the factors that allowed them to create the thing we call ethics today, morality today? If you want to do an evolutionary process, be clear. There's no way to explain what's going on right here. There's no way. Maybe you could say it happened accidentally, like evolutionary process, accidentally. If you want to go in that route, fine. But if you do that, you got to eventually admit that somewhere along the line, we figured out that stealing from our friends was not a good thing. Not sharing our things with our family was not a good thing. We figured out that to live long, to promote our progeny, we've got to do these things today we call ethics. So if you want to go this long way about it, go for it. But there's no way you can make Socrates wrong. Right? So Socrates came forward and said, to really be moral, you need to have the right knowledge. Then he went even further. The essence of morality is to have knowledge of the right thing. If a person has the right knowledge, he or she will do the right thing. If a person has the right knowledge of morality, he or she will act morally. When that expression is made, we can understand it, and we immediately, everyone has that criticism. Socrates, I could know I shouldn't steal, a motorcycle, but I may still choose to steal it. Yes, you can know it and don't do it. And so therefore you criticize Socrates, say that knowledge is not enough. Yes, Aristotle is going to pick up that mantle. But let me stay on Socrates for a second, right? Um, Socrates assumes, I am presupposing this now. Socrates assumes that you, humans, are going to choose the moral life. Anyone who chooses to live the moral life or the ethical life automatically is only limited by the amount of knowledge he or she has. So if there's a criticism of Socrates, is that he believed that people would choose to do good. If you choose to do good, doesn't mean you know how to do good. So you still have to learn. And so this is where knowledge comes in. If there's a weakness, it's the weakness in the trust of humanity that somehow we choose to do good, right? When in fact we may not have chosen to do good. As a moralist, we can all desire for people to choose to do good, to do the right thing, to live the moral life, to live the ethical life, right? But that is not always the case. And I think that's where Socrates comes in. If you grant him that, if someone have decided to live the moral life, then Socrates has become correct. The more knowledge you have, the more you act morally. If you don't have a clear understanding of stem cell and all the ramifications of stem cell research, you may not be able to make an informed or philosophical decision as to its moral character. Socrates came, once you understand all the details enough, once you understand the big picture, what's really going on, then you can make the right moral decision with respect to stem cell research. And in that regard, I really agree with Socrates and defend Socrates. Okay? I would preface that for anyone who had chosen to live the moral life. Okay? If he or she possessed knowledge of morality, knowledge of honesty, friendship, fairness, and those other details, then he or she will act morally. I agree with that.